The luxury Hamilton Grand Hotel gleamed with polished marble and crystal chandeliers as Elena Martinez pushed her housekeeping cart down the executive floor hallway at p.m. At 28, she had worked night shift housekeeping for 3 years. The hours were brutal, but the pay differential helped support her younger sister's college tuition and their elderly mother's medical expenses. Tonight, she was assigned to the penthouse suites, typically reserved for VIP guests and corporate executives. Elena took pride in her work, treating each room with meticulous care regardless of whether guests noticed. She knocked on suite 1501. Housekeeping. No response. According to her tablet, the guest had requested late turndown service, but was scheduled to be at a business dinner until midnight. Elena used her master key and entered, immediately cataloging what needed attention: fresh towels, bed turndown, restocking the minibar. She was replacing linens when she heard a voice behind her. "I did not expect housekeeping this late." Elena spun around to find a man in his mid-30s standing in the doorway, wearing a business suit and looking exhausted. She recognized him immediately: Christopher Hamilton, CEO of Hamilton Hospitality Group, which owned this hotel and 47 others worldwide. "Mr. Hamilton," Elena said, immediately professional despite her racing heart. "I apologize for the intrusion. Your suite was scheduled for turndown service. I can return later if you prefer." "Oh, need," Christopher said, loosening his tie. "I came back early from dinner. Migraine. Please, continue your work." Elena hesitated. Hotel policy was clear: if a guest was present and uncomfortable, service should be rescheduled. "Sir, I'd absolutely come back." Ms. Christopher glanced at her name tag. "Martinez. I appreciate your professionalism, but honestly, I would rather you finish now than have someone knock again later. I just need to sit down for a moment." He moved to the sitting area while Elena continued her work efficiently, maintaining appropriate boundaries while completing her tasks. She noticed Christopher rubbing his temples, clearly in pain. "Mr. Hamilton," she said carefully, "the hotel has complimentary migraine medication available through room service. Would you like me to request it?" Christopher looked up, surprised. "You noticed I have a migraine? You are rubbing your temples in the specific pattern people use when they have severe headaches. The lights seem to be bothering you, and you came back early from what I assume was an important business dinner. Either migraine or you are avoiding someone." Christopher laughed despite his pain. "Observant. It is definitely a migraine. And yes, medication would be helpful." Elena called room service with the request, then continued her work. As she was finishing, Christopher spoke again. "Can I ask you something, Miss Martinez? You clearly pay attention to details. Why housekeeping?" Elena paused, considering whether to give a polite deflection or an honest answer. She chose honesty. "Because it pays better than day shift. The schedule allows me to take my mother to medical appointments, and I am good at it." "Why do you ask?" "Because, in the 3 minutes you have been in this room, you have demonstrated more awareness and problem solving than several executives I met with today. You noticed my migraine, took initiative to help, and handled an awkward situation with perfect professionalism. Those are valuable skills." "Thank you, sir. But I'm just doing my job." "Doing it well," Christopher corrected. He pulled out a business card. "This is going to sound strange, but I am serious. Email me your resume. We have a management training program that identifies talent within our organization. You should apply." Elena looked at the card, then at him. "Mr. Hamilton, I appreciate the gesture, but I do not have a college degree. I have been working full-time since I was 18 to support my family. Your management program requires a bachelor's degree minimum. I wrote the requirements for that program. I can also change them." Christopher stood up, wincing slightly at the pain. "Miss Martinez, I have learned that degrees tell me someone can pass tests. Work ethic, attention to detail, initiative, those tell me someone can actually do the job. Think about it." Over the following weeks, Elena debated whether to take Christopher's offer seriously. It seemed too good to be true, a CEO offering a promotion based on one brief interaction. But she finally sent her resume, expecting nothing. 2 weeks later, she was called to the hotel's human resources office. The director, a stern woman named Patricia, sat across from her. "Miss Martinez, I received your application to the management training program. I am required to inform you that you do not meet the standard qualifications." Elena's heart sank. She had known it was a long shot. However, Patricia continued, "Mr. Hamilton has personally requested that we create an alternative pathway for employees with demonstrated excellence but non-traditional backgrounds. You will be the first participant. If you accept, you will attend management classes 2 evenings per week, which the hotel will pay for. You will rotate through different departments to learn operations, and you will maintain your current salary with a raise upon completion. Do you accept?" Elena felt tears sting her eyes. Yes, absolutely yes. The program was grueling. Elena worked full shifts, attended classes, studied late into the night, and juggled her family responsibilities. But she was determined to prove that Christopher's faith in her had not been misplaced. 8 months into the program, Elena was assigned to shadow the executive team for a week. This meant attending high-level meetings, observing decision-making processes, and learning how the business functioned at the highest levels. During a budget meeting, Elena noticed something in the numbers that did not align with operational reality. She hesitated. She was the most junior person in the room, a former housekeeper among executives with decades of experience, but she remembered what had gotten her here, paying attention and speaking up when it mattered. "Excuse me," Elena said, during a pause in discussion. "I may be wrong, but the housekeeping budget projection seems disconnected from actual usage patterns." The CFO looked annoyed. "Miss Martinez, these projections are based on historical data, which accounts for average occupancy," Elena interrupted respectfully, "but does not factor in the seasonal convention schedule that housekeeping deals with directly. Your projections assume steady staffing, but we actually need 30% more staff during convention months and can reduce during slow periods. The current budget will either overstaff during slow times or critically understaff during busy periods." The room went silent. Christopher leaned forward. "Explain further." Christopher turned to his CFO. "Revise the projections using Miss Martinez's data. She is correct." After the meeting, Christopher called Elena to his office. "That was impressive," he said. "You caught something experienced executives missed because you actually did the work. That is exactly why I wanted you in this program." "I was terrified I was wrong," Elena admitted. "But you spoke up anyway." "That is leadership." Christopher paused. "I want to be clear about something, Miss Martinez. I offered you this opportunity because I saw potential, but you are succeeding because of your own talent and work ethic. Do you understand the difference?" "I think so. You opened a door. I had to walk through it myself." "Exactly. And you are walking through it brilliantly." 18 months after that night, in Suite 1501, Elena graduated from the management program at the top of her class. Christopher attended the small ceremony and shook her hand with formal professionalism. "Congratulations, Miss Martinez. You have been promoted to assistant hotel manager, with a path to general manager within 3 years if you continue at this trajectory. Thank you, Mr. Hamilton, for seeing something in me that I did not see in myself. I saw someone doing excellent work who deserved a chance to do more. Thank you for proving that excellence exists at every level. We just have to be willing to recognize it." 5 years after their first meeting, Elena stood in the lobby of a new Hamilton Grand Hotel, this time as general manager, the youngest in the company's history. Christopher was there for the opening ceremony. "You have built something remarkable here," he told her, looking around at the smoothly operating hotel. "I learned from the best," Elena said. "You taught me that respecting people at every level is not just good ethics, it is good business. Half my management team came up through non-traditional pathways because I know talent exists everywhere." "I am proud of you," Christopher said simply. "I am proud of me too," Elena replied, and grateful to someone who saw a housekeeping attendant paying attention to details and thought that mattered enough to take a chance. At the 5-year anniversary celebration of Elena's promotion, she addressed the company's leadership team. "I started as a night shift housekeeper. I am now a general manager. That is not because I was special, is because someone practiced what this company preaches. That every employee matters and excellence should be recognized regardless of where it comes from. If you want to build a great company, start by respecting the people doing the work, not just the people in the executive offices. The room erupted in applause. Christopher, sitting in the back, smiled quietly. He had taken a chance on someone he met for 3 minutes in a hotel suite. She had transformed that chance into a model for how the entire company could identify and develop talent.